Hello everyone and welcome back to GTA Online with me, Longclaw Valyrian Steel, where we always deliver. Well, today I have for you the full Act 2 Doomsday Heist experience, all the way from the first prep to the finale, and this is all in one video, so sit back and enjoy. If you want to get involved and help me with the heist, we're about to start the casino heist and go all the way from the very first prep missions and the scope out all the way through to the heist, and I'll show you all three variants of that heist as well, and then we'll be moving on to the OG heist, and hopefully that will keep us busy until we get a bit more activity in GTA Online. So if you want to get involved, then join the crew in the link in my bio and then join me online. Now let's get into it. This particular mission is so easy. You're just collecting a bag from a group of drug dealers and taking it back to your facility, and it's the very first one. Now let's get into it. Let's see what happens. So before you can get on with your setups, you have to do a bit of prep, and in this mission we're going to collect some Strombergs. Now the Stromberg is the car that you can, before the Toreador, the Stromberg was the car that you could swim underwater with, and it was released as part of the Doomsday Heist. It was, back in the day, the car to have. The missiles are amazing, and this is your first chance to get behind the wheel. You need to stop the trucks, and I basically planted my thruster right underneath the wheels and it blew me up, but the driver died as well. Then get in the truck, it's very heavy duty, and just take it back to the facility, and you'll need a few people to bring back the other ones, or you're going to be doing this several times. Just help the rest of your team bring theirs back as well. That's the beauty of these heists, is that you'll be working together as a group. In this particular mission we are now onto the setups, and we need to go and collect an Avenger. Unfortunately, the Avenger is protected by a group of very aggressive mercenaries in a hangar. And those who have done the Doomsday Heist, and back in the day when I was first starting on GTA, the Doomsday Heist was the first of the DLCs that I came across, and all of the players that I was playing with were raving and playing the DLC over and over. So Doomsday Heist was how I learned all my skills, and in this particular mission I had sleepless nights. It's not easy at all. You're going inside an aircraft hangar and the Avenger is parked there. That's where the easy part ends. The lights go out and you have night vision goggles, but there are wave upon wave of NPC aggressors just taking you out. There's about 3 floors I think in here, and they're all over the place, and as soon as you shoot one they spawn again in multiple numbers. Your best bet is to get inside the office and use that to take out players, NPC players, and once you've cleared enough of the NPCs out, you'll then be triggered to start going through the hangar and making your way to the top floor, because you need to power up the generators and put the lights back on. Meanwhile Lester is screaming away in your ear, and it is hard and it takes a long time, and I think what makes it harder is that you can die easily. Even if you go into this with full snacks, full ammo and full armor, you'll probably use most of it in this mission. But get into that office, and that's the best place to be. And then once the lights come back on and you've taken everybody out, get in the Avenger and take it home. Once you've got the Avenger, you'll be able to use that as part of the finale. I love the Avenger, it's fantastic. When you do the finale, one of you will be in the Avenger and the other one will be in the sub, or at least one of you in the sub. And there it is. The next one, you need to go and rescue the ULP. Now This again is a tough mission, and it's all about the sheer number of enemies you have to face. But if you take it step by step, and again, each one of these setups you want to refill your snacks, your ammo and your armor, because you're going to really need it. Treat each one of these setups like a heist in itself and prepare for it in the same way. Don't go into it with no snacks and no ammo and no armor, and you need heavy duty armor. Make your way through the building and take out as many of the players as you can from a position of cover, and keep watching those snacks, and don't be too tempted to go in with heavy artillery, because you'll end up killing yourself or blowing up one of your other players. And the thing about these heists is that when someone dies or leaves, it fails and you have to start from the last checkpoint. So as long as you don't leave the game as the heist leader, you'll be able to move around and hit the checkpoints, and it shouldn't become too difficult. We had trouble with some of these, and most of the trouble comes from getting the players you want into the lobby. And if you can find 3 other players to do these heists with you and keep the same crew for the entire Act 2 or Act 3, whatever finale you're doing, you'll earn additional money as well. And what makes this mission, again, doubly hard is that once you do find your contact, you've got to drag him all the way through the building without getting him killed, so clearing a path on your way out. So imagine how much snacks and armor you're going to use in this, and there's not a huge amount to pick up. It's not like you can pick up lots and lots of snacks or armor, and your health is the biggest issue. But once you're out, if you're using the correct vehicle, which you're better off using something armored like this, you'll find that you'll have no trouble. And then this mission, you need to salvage some hard drives, and this one definitely needs teamwork. You're in an RPC, and that, if you've ever wondered why it fires water, it's because it was released as part of the Doomsday Heist, and you use it in this mission. It's like a fire extinguisher, and I don't know why you're in this and not a fire extinguisher, but it's a heavily armoured vehicle that has a jet on the top that sends a powerful burst of water. You need to go to the cement works and put out the flames on cars, and in this mission you're going to drive around different locations putting out the cars that are on fire, because you're trying to salvage some hard drives. Now, whoever's driving this and powering the jet, they will be protecting the players that get out and go on foot to get the hard drives, and in some cases you all need to get out because it's that severe and savage. Getting players that you know how to do this with is key. So if you have players that are experienced with the Doomsday Heist, or at least players that are good on GTA, fairly high level, but also that you can rely on not to bail on you and run off and go and get their dinner in the middle of a mission. Throughout all of these missions you have a lot of NPCs that are chasing you down, and they are in heavy armor and usually in a night shark, so it's never easy. Nothing is straightforward, and again it's all about checkpoints, health, ammo, armor, and if you can keep all of that in check and look after each other, you will manage to take all of this in your stride, and it shouldn't take too long. Those who watched me set these missions up and worked with me while we were putting this content together will know that we split this up and did usually one setup each day, or one mission each day, over the course of a couple of weeks, and then we just carried on until we finished the entire process. You can do it way quicker than that, and that's just because of availability for everybody. In this one you need to go into a bit of recon, so the Strombergs that you've picked up, you're now using them. These are fantastic vehicles and very versatile. In the first part of the mission you're driving along the highway taking out a convoy of vehicles, and you get to use the missiles, which are awesome. If you have a Stromberg and you fancy going and taking out some griefers, this is brilliant for taking out air vehicles, particularly Mark IIs. A Stromberg will usually win because you can't lock onto it in the same way, and it does take a few missiles to blow it up, and it's so fast and versatile, and the missiles lock on instantly. So I recommend this as a game for playing in a public lobby, for a car to use in a public lobby. Once you've taken out the convoy, you'll go in underwater, and you can use the submersible version of the Stromberg, and you're going to be taking out some sea mines, and I think there's 10 per player, and you'll be in teams, so you'll be in 2 separate locations, each doing your own. Once you're done, you're going to do a bit of recon and scan the submarine. So you need to go near the submarine, and this is the sub that you're going to go on, and you allow the Stromberg to scan the entire submarine. And then once you're done, you need to get the hell out of there and drop the Stromberg back off on the beach, and then you're all done. So you can see these missions are not that hard, and now I've shown you how I do them. You will find that if you want to do this yourself, it's definitely worth it. A lot of people ask me about the Doomsday Heist, and they have the facility, but they have never nailed the heists themselves, and the biggest issue with this is finding players to play with. So if you want to join the True Valyrian Steel crew and play with us, we'll always jump on and help. In this cutscene, we're looking at the final finale, and the way this works, for those who are not familiar with the finale for Act 2, you're going to split up, and one of you is going to go into the submarine, very much like collecting the sonar jammer in the Cayo heist. You're going into the submarine, working your way through, and it's almost exactly the same layout. The other player or players will be in the Avenger, waiting on the beach, usually twiddling your thumbs, trying not to crash the Avenger, and eventually picking up the player that comes out the submarine and taking everyone home. You can do this with just 2 players, and I did this with one of my crew, and I went into the submarine, and surprisingly I just bought this grenade launcher, and I wanted to give it a go, and it works beautifully for clearing out corridors and things like that. You fire a few of the grenades down the corridors, and by the time you get in the room, I'm always doing that, and I also use my sticky bombs as well. I think if you can throw the sticky bombs ahead of you, you clear out. In this case, I cleared out not only this little lobby, but also the control room as well. Just means you're not going to get surprised by the guards that hang around behind the doors. And if you've ever watched my tutorials for the CyberPunk heist, I always talk about collecting your corners, which is a sort of police term. When you're going into a building, you make sure that you check the corners on your left and right as you walk into the room to make sure there isn't an NPC there with a gun, because they're heavily overpowered, and if you've only got half your health left, you can easily die. Now, my player that I played with actually crashed the Avenger halfway through this, which is why I cut it into 2. When you do find your content, your contact, bring him into the control room, and this is Bogdan here, and after a little cutscene you start to hear some voices on the intercom, and it turns out that Avon has betrayed you, and that all he wanted was for us to do his work for him. Lester is understandably furious, but you just need to get the hell out of there. So climb out the sub, and hopefully your teammate is waiting on the beach, and have yourself flown back to safety. Of course there will be some pursuers, in this case some choppers, but use the extensive weaponry available to you in the Avenger to take care of them, and then head back to Devon Weston's hangar at the airport, and you'll have another cutscene where Lester explains the plan now and the fact that we've been betrayed. Agent 14 is furious as well, and now it's about revenge, and of course that is what happens in Act 3. So we'll get prepared for that. I'll be bringing you that shortly. We've completed all of the Doomsday Heist now, and we're now about to start work on the casino heist. So if you want to get involved in that, then join the crew via the link in the bio, and with True Valyrian Steel we'll be going through all of the casino heist in all three variants of the casino heist: silent and sneaky, the big con, and the aggressive approach, as well as the OG heist that you do in your penthouse apartment. So let's see how we get on. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll be back in another video very soon.